Hey everybody, this is Grace, and today I have this on my mind about people who are what some would call psychopaths. Now, over the years, I was a career student. My degrees are in psychology and sociology when I was younger, and the definitions have changed over time. Let me just put it that way, of what is a psychopath and what's a sociopath. I don't even know if people even use sociopath too much. Some of them do, but they see it as some see it as just narcissism, period. Sociopath. And then psychopath, there's psychopath 1, psychopath 2 under antisocial, but not necessarily, and neither is sociopath, not necessarily. You know, it's like, really, make up your mind, okay? But anyway, the psychopaths, I think some people think that a psychopath, you can tell by looking at them that something is, there's some kind of devious behavior working inside that brain. Not necessarily. Okay, I have noticed over time, like people who are rather narcissistic, histrionic, maybe psychopathic, sociopathic. I don't diagnose anybody, but their behaviors are similar. I have noticed the way that they look, their appearance, and one big major thing, and this is not one size fits all, some other people can do it too, but one major thing I have seen is that they can raise one eyebrow, and they do it often, especially when they're lying. You know, some people, that's their tail, as some people call it, you know, T-E-L-L, as some people call it. But there's something, sometimes, not always, like I said, none of this is one size fits all, no, not across the board. But there's something about their faces, you know, that just looks to me, and maybe it's because I've had far too much experience with these types, far too much in my life. And I've noticed these kind of similar patterns of the way their expressions, their nonverbals. Okay, just put it as that, nonverbals. And I was actually taught how to watch for certain nonverbals when I was at university, more than once. And yeah, I mean, I can. It's like now, especially as I'm older, I can tell, but not always. Of course, nothing's perfect. But that eyebrow is what often gets to me. I have tried to learn how to do that. You know, haven't we all tried before? Those of us who can't do it, you know, to try to say, how do they do that? And then try it, and it's like, it's too awkward. And it just doesn't work. But these are ones, they do it with ease. I was watching one person on video the other day, and this person, the whole video, like after every other sentence, would raise that, or raise that eyebrow. And it seemed like that person was lying each time, like that's the, you know, that person's tail, T-E-L-L, you know. But anyway, and some people think that, you know, to get back to this about psychopaths and sociopaths, some people think that these are people who are just going to do physical damage and all kinds of different damage, and you know, that they're like they're seeing an extreme, which to be diagnosed, generally, it's going to be an extreme of, you can see these kind of behaviors in other people that are not extreme, and they might not get diagnosed because they're not at the level of might. I never said 100%. Okay. But, you know, some of them seem to think that psychopaths is all about life or death, and that's just not really the case. Okay. You know, it just depends. Some, you know, they do, you know, they're not, okay, like they're not very responsible. Or, you know, some of them have like the Dark Triad kind of thing going on, and they have a little narcissism and Machiavellianism and, you know, the psychopathic behaviors going on all mixed together. And some of them, like I said, you know, the ones I'm not diagnosed, ones say are not diagnosed. Some of it is just like the whole thing. They use people. They plot and they plan it. They are very cunning, you know, all this Dark Triad thing. And they just don't care what happens to the person. It's insignificant to them. If that person just can't afford to live anymore and, you know, has to go live on the street or something, they don't care. It is all about them. I've known somebody like this. And it's not somebody you would suspect. There's no look. There's no, you know, certain appearance. So, anyway, looking at my notes here a little bit. And maybe that's all I would say for this one. To just, you know, I just get the feeling that some people, you know, think that they're got to be, you know, really harsh. But I just don't agree that to have the behaviors, and I'm talking about the behaviors, not the diagnosis. The behaviors don't have to be like, you know, so harsh, but what happens as a, you know, that person that just doesn't care about somebody else if they lose a job or something like that. The outcome for that person is pretty bad. It can be pretty bad. It could be. And but instead of some people, you know, they, like you might see on one of those like ID movies kind of things. You see what I'm saying? And I do wonder about this, about the sociopath, why some people are saying that the narcissists are actual sociopaths. I really wonder where this came around, why it came around, why people think this. Where did they get that? Who taught them that? And, you know, how do they combine the two? You know, really, I do wonder. But do you know? Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.